This is where the big boys play, huh?
I'm back. And I'm back for you. I'm not gonna lie, I'm back for me too.
Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Hole 3, the moss-covered, three-handle family Gradunzel. I am Sir Michael Cole.
You there, sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
Number 4, armbar.
This ain't no disco. Ain't no country club either. This is the 3 Count Thursday podcast. So let's go, baby.
Hello, everyone. Welcome 3CT. We are live. It is Thursday, March 16th, 2023. We are glad to be back with you for another week. We are still the podcast of the millennium. We hope you are doing well. Hope you're having a great week, getting ready for the St. Patty's Day tomorrow. So hope you're excited. Hope you're partying early. Partying responsibly, though. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you're following along with us live, give us a like and a share. We would certainly appreciate that. Head over to 3countthursday.com. Devin checking in with us. What's going on, Devin? Head over to 3countthursday.com. Get our merchandise over at TeePublic. Get us on all of our social media at 3CountThursday, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and everywhere else. Always the number 3, never the word 3. Go around the room here on a happy 316 day, however you're celebrating that as well. But Ryan?
How you doing?
Oh, he's not ready. Matt?
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Started to enjoy some of the March Madness tournament. I know Mark is a big college basketball fan, so I'm sure he's watching as well. But looking forward to talking some wrestling here tonight.
All right, very good. Tim from the road?
How you doing?
Staggerly Marshall here calling from 1-800-COLLECT. I'm on the road to Hampton, Virginia. Gonna watch Magnum TA sign a bunch of pictures and talk about how he wrecked a motorcycle and then see my best friend possibly win a world title. Back to you, Weasel.
All right, thank you. Ryan, are you good now?
How you doing?
Who the hell was that?
I don't know. I thought it was Tim, but it was somebody else apparently.
Staggerly Marshall calling from 1-800-COLLECT.
Oh, dang. Doesn't even sound like Staggerly Marshall. Oh, I'm fine.
It's kind of crazy. I'm dead.
Well, welcome back, sir. Welcome back. No, I was just looking at my bracket to see how foobarred it is already.
I
currently
think
second place in our bracket, so I'm all right with that.
Well, good.
I watched 0 minutes and 0 seconds of college basketball in preparation to make my bracket, so I wasn't expecting much.
Same here. Over under 5 minutes for you to actually fill out the bracket.
Under.
Okay, me too. I was just checking to make sure that.
Where the fuck's Furman?
Mike asks, did Mark get arrested? He hasn't heard from the Joe Lopez in hour. Yeah, maybe they're, I don't know. Who knows where Mark is?
Have we ever seen Mark and Joe Lopez in the same room?
We have not. I'm convinced they're the same person. And if you've listened to the Take 3 Wrestling podcast, you'll understand what I mean. They are the same person. I'm convinced.
Mike, Big Jim was just telling me that he didn't think you guys were going to record tonight, but I'm free, so if you're free, Jim's free, let's do it.
There you go. I'm not free.
You just said you were free to do it tonight.
That's not what I said.
Well,
Mike agrees they are the same person.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're the same.
All right, well, I'm out too then. Take 3.
I thought Ryan was the Joe of the group because he falls asleep on air sometimes.
When did I ever fall asleep on air?
I mean, Close enough.
Probably happened.
I don't remember it happening.
How would you remember? You were asleep.
You do have a foolproof memory.
Oh, Devin says Mark's out hunting leprechauns. That's actually probably accurate, if we're being honest about it.
Who out here said leprechaun say yeah?
That actually wouldn't surprise me if that's where Mark was.
Sasquatch and leprechauns.
Sasquatch and leprechauns. Yeah, Mike says at the 58-minute mark of last week's Take 3, I almost died, which is accurate. Thanks to Joe.
Fair.
Thanks to Joe, thanks to Mark, however you want to name them.
Matt, what are you doing this weekend? Any fun activities? I don't know, maybe Saturday?
I'm glad you asked, Ryan. I'm actually going to be going to the Icons of Wrestling convention at the 2300 Arena.
Are you serious?
Thursday table. We actually have 2 tables because there are so many guests this time through. So staple of the convention circuit, Riley Madison will be with us, and then we have Gabby Ortiz coming, who is going to be in the Monster Factory show that airs on Apple Plus or Apple TV tomorrow. We have Kelsey Reagan of AEW Dark fame. Jim, that's the show that they do like on the webs and not on TV. And then we have Brittany Blake, local talent Brittany Blake, who we probably remember from the Legacy days, but heavy in the MCW scene as well, will be joining too.
Former Legacy Women's Champion, right? If memory serves.
I believe she was the second Legacy Women's Champion. I'd have to check the stats.
I believe she was also in the running for like their featherweight title. She won a tournament in that regard.
They had a featherweight title?
Yeah, I want to say it was her versus Tony Deppen.
Huh. I honestly don't remember that. But yeah, it's man, that's been a long time since.
What about you, Ryan? Are you doing wrestling related stuff this weekend?
I think I'll travel down with you to the Icons of Wrestling show. That sounds like a hoot. I am serious, Mark. Thank you. We just have him right off camera. But tomorrow, I think I'm going to take in some independent professional wrestling, and you should too. You can come out to the Brightside Opportunity Center in beautiful Lancaster, Pennsylvania. The weather should be real nice in Pennsylvania tomorrow. The wind finally died down.
Finally.
And check out 3 Legacies Wrestling. They're presenting Fool's Gold.
It's always a good time.
How exciting. I think in the main event, we have Delirious taking on Smiley. Tim, I believe you know both of those fellas. You're familiar with both of them. Tim with the thumbs up from the road. Bro Keller taking on Victor Benjamin. Ooh. Lady Frost will be in action. A lot of great stuff. I don't have the card in front of me, but I wish I did.
It's always a good time.
Brought up the topic of things to do this weekend without being prepared, but that's par for the course for old Ryan here.
Just pretend you're asleep and it'll be okay.
Well, Tim's usually at a laptop and he's able to pull this shit up for me quickly enough, and I'm just kind of waiting for the card to flash up in front of me, and it's just not happening.
It's not happening. Yes, Tim.
I'm actually going to be doing some wrestling stuff this weekend too.
Yeah, we didn't ask you
Thursday
yet.
Actually spreading around. I kind of talked about it as Staggerly Marshall, but I'm headed to Hampton, Virginia. Virginia Championship Wrestling, formerly known as Vanguard Championship Wrestling, has an event aptly called March 18th from Hampton, Virginia. Virginia wrestling legend, NWA legend, Magnum TA will be in attendance doing a meet and greet. But it's going to be headlined by friend of the podcast, The Boar, challenging for the VCW World Heavyweight Championship against the champion of the 1%, Logan Easton LaRue. Also a friend of the podcast, Erica Lee, will be taking on Savannah Evans. But it's going to be a fun time. I'm actually going back to the very first indie promotion I ever saw, and it's almost like 20 years to the day that I first heard of VCW. So 3CT is making their rounds, getting their wrestling steps in this weekend. So it's going to be a good time.
Very nice. Very nice. Mike asked if you were going to take in a Hampton Pirates game while you are in town.
No, I don't do college sports.
All right. Except for Notre Dame, though. Big Notre Dame fan.
Baseball.
Kinda.
Big Notre Dame fan. You have the
Big
shirt.
Notre Dame
you have
fan.
the shirt
No
and keychain to prove it.
Got everything.
And Devin will be watching sprint cars turn left a lot. So good.
Oh, don't bring up sprint cars and racing.
I don't know if Ryan. We don't have the budget to buy Ryan a new microphone yet. So
am I supposed to turn left yet?
tpublic.com/user/3count Thursday. Buy some shirts so we can afford to buy Ryan a new microphone when he eventually breaks it. That would be greatly appreciated. But let's go into this. We are looking at March the 16th in pro wrestling history. 3 birthdays today. Henry O. Godwin, born today, 1965. Steve Armstrong, born today as well in 1965. And Kenny Dykstra of the Spirit Squad was born today, 1986. Old Lenny Dykstra. 1994 in Munich, Germany, Mick Foley, wrestling as Cactus Jack, famously loses his ear during a match with Big Van Vader. 1997 WCW Uncensored was held in Charleston, South Carolina. The main event was a triangle elimination match. The teams were Team NWO, Team WCW, and Team Piper. Team NWO was victorious when Hulk Hogan pinned Team WCW's Lex Luger. 1998 on WWF Monday Night Raw, Triple H beat Owen Hart for the WWF European Championship. And lastly, in 2020, for the first time, WWE Raw is held in the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there's only one match on the show in which Rey Mysterio defeats Andrade by pinfall. Elsewhere on the show, they re-aired the Royal Rumble match and how Drew McIntyre went on to win. We also saw the contract signing between The Undertaker and AJ Styles. Then lastly, Stone Cold Steve Austin came out to the ring to announce 3/16 Day as a holiday, delivered a stunner to Byron Saxon, and shared a few beers with Becky Lynch to close the show. Yes, Tim?
That has to be one of the saddest segments in wrestling history.
The which one?
The 3/16 Day.
Oh yeah, the 2-person beer bash.
The 1-person beer bash, because Austin's in there by himself and he's doing the what stuff to
nobody
monitors.
to chairs
And nothing.
Yeah, it was.
And it's just like it's like, man, could we have postponed this?
I mean,
like,
I know it's March 16th.
Pop a number, but...
Right, like I know it's March 16th, but man, but those are the events that occurred. March the 16th in pro wrestling history. We're going to be talking about some of the pandemic wrestling, good and bad. Obviously, that one was a bad or sad, more sad than bad, I suppose. They were trying their best, but we're going to talk about that in our question of the week coming up here in just a minute. But let's get to week number 48.
Since John Moxley and Cesaro, way before Gargano, there was Savage and Roddy, and Saturdays on NBC. These 5 guys on Facebook are gonna take a hard look. 3 Count Thursday brings to you the wrestler on the week.
All right, like I said, week 48, obviously really closing in on the end of part 2 of the Wrestler of the Year. We start with the People's Champ, Big Mac again, gets the pick this week after being victorious for, what was the AEW show? Revolution. I was like, I forgot the name of the show already. But he picks Gallus, still your NXT Tag Team champions. Tim, do you remember yours? You want to kick us off?
Sure, we can kick us off as long as you put the thing on the screen.
There you go.
Number 5, she's all elite. Taya Valkyrie interrupting Jade Cargill after her successful TBS championship match. Number 4, I've got the tandem of Drew McIntyre and Sheamus for simultaneously becoming co-number 1 contenders for the Intercontinental Championship, only for that to go away tomorrow on SmackDown when Drew takes on Sheamus for full number 1 contendership rights. But don't let that get in the way of a good story. Number 3, Gallus retaining the NXT Tag Team titles. Number 2, the brand new leveled up AEW International Championship of Orange Cassidy defeating TRT'd out of his mind Jeff Jarrett. And number 1, it is the House of Black successfully retaining the Trios titles against very formidable foes in the Elite and whoever the hell the third team was.
Wasn't it? It was the Jericho guys, wasn't it?
The Jericho Appreciation Society. I said that. Thank you.
Ryan, go ahead.
Gallus. They wrestled on Tuesday in a really good match. They've also been they've been pretty active in free agency. The House of Black, because Mark's not here, beat a bunch of people. They're still your 3-way champions. Rob Noxious beat some people there at Valor. He's still the CCW Valor, and oh shit, he holds another one too. I have it written down here. RFW champion.
There we go.
Mecca Brian Johnson, still your PPW champion up there in PPW. They just relocated.
I'll say it had been in
professional wrestling. It's another wacky ass town I've never heard of. It's kind of above Allentown, I believe, maybe near Bethlehem, which is right near where Jesus was born.
Exactly where.
And then Orange Cassidy, for all the reasons Tim said, he wrestled and got a leveled up belt. Apparently, I didn't watch.
Slatington.
Slatington.
Yep, that's where it is.
It's
now.
Slatington's just okay this time of year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
When's
the last time you were in Slatington, Pennsylvania?
What day? Okay, so today's March 16th. Carry the 7. I never.
About then, never.
Mike has a great name for the Jericho Appreciation Society, the January 6th Wrecking Crew. Accurate. Matt, go ahead with yours.
Yeah, so 5th place, I have Drew and Sheamus for the number 1 contendership that they are sharing for the time being. In 4th place, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn for their number 1 contendership for the NXT Women's Tag Titles. 3rd place, Billy Starks, your new CCWA Global Fighting Champ, promotion down in Delaware that is all women's that the 3 of us used to do commentary for.
What a
back
maneuver.
in the day. Where the What a Maneuver became famous. So support that promotion if you're down in Delaware. 2nd place, Taya Valkyrie, like Tim mentioned, she is all elite, had a pretty good spot debut in that night on AEW. And in 1st place, Kylan King, who retained her CCWA belts. That's plural. She has 2 of them at that promotion. And she also signed her contract with Impact. So pretty big week there for Kylan King. Congrats to her.
Very good. Does anybody want to try to read Mark's in the style of Mark? All right, well, there's Mark's.
I don't think so, Jim.
You can.
I feel like I blew the Galloping Gallus away on the post when I said them. I should have put it there.
You did.
It would have been good if I knew Mark wasn't going to be here.
It would have been good. Yeah.
And the other ones, I think he just stole from Matt.
I think so.
Pretty much, yeah.
If you want to see Mark's, you can go to 3countthursday.com. The full standings are there each and every week. For me, I apparently didn't get the memo that we could have Drew and Sheamus as singles competitors on the same line. So I went with Drew at 5, Sheamus at 4.
Surprising because you gave your picks last.
Did I? No, I gave mine third, I think. I think I gave mine third. I definitely didn't give him last. No, I think I gave mine second. I think Ryan came third, and then Mark, and then Tim.
Tell him if you could just put 2 random people together, and they can be the same line item for.
I put them on because they achieved the same thing that made them on the list.
Correct.
And they're
That's
both
why
wrestlers that I don't give 2 shits about either.
I put Sheamus higher just because I know Matt and Mark love them. So I wanted to make sure he got the most points possible. Orange Cassidy third, Gallus second, and House of Black, or however Mark says it, in first for all the reasons given above. So for the week, Drew McIntyre 5th, Sheamus 4th, Gallus in 3rd, Orange Cassidy in 2nd, and the House of Black in 1st. And for the year, now through, like I said, through week 48, not a whole lot has changed. And main event Jey Uso still sits atop with 58 points with just a couple of weeks to go. Still, obviously, plenty of wrestling to go, and some potential movers there in the top 10 and especially in the top 5. So we will see if Jey can hold on to his crown through WrestleMania when we close this thing up. But there is week number 48.
Since John Moxley and Cesaro, way before Gargano, there was Savage and Roddy, and Saturdays on NBC. These 5 guys on Facebook are gonna take a hard look. 3 Count Thursday brings to you the wrestler on the week.
The 3 count question of the week.
Like I said, I mean, we had the anniversary of today is the anniversary of the first Raw in the Performance Center. Just a couple of days ago was the anniversary of the first WWE show period at the Performance Center in what kicked off the strangest time in professional wrestling that we've ever lived through, the strangest time in our lives that we've ever lived through, the start of the pandemic era of professional wrestling. It gave us some good, it gave us some bad, but just kind of opening up the floor as a discussion here this week, since it is timely. What to you guys is some of the best, your favorite, least favorite moments of the pandemic era? Anyone can lead us off. Tim.
Extreme fucking Rules.
Now is that
might go down as the worst of the worst ever. In one night, we had the Bayou Boogaloo beat down with Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, and Rey Mysterio had his eye gouged out on pay-per-view.
There we go. Thank you, Ryan.
What?
Yeah. Was
it's
it
horrible?
It was. Yeah, it was not. It was not good. I forgot about the Bayou match.
Wasn't there a tagline for Extreme Rules too?
The horror show. The horror show at Extreme Rules.
Yep, that was what exactly it was. A God-blessed horror show.
It was a horror show.
I would have rather seen the horror show at Extreme Rules and just watched wrinkled old former D.
He ain't lying.
Just strut that ass one more time than to watch Rey Mysterio, WWE future WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio wrestle Seth Franklin Rollins in an eye for an eye match.
Yeah, I want to pull up that card.
Back when we hated Dom Mysterio.
That's right.
Boy, were we wrong then?
We were right then. We were right then. He deserved to be hated then.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Back when Buddy Murphy was Boots and Aaliyah.
Oh shit!
Not Canadian Aaliyah, but Rey Mysterio's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Holy hell.
Yeah, long time the pandemic was.
Yeah,
it was. A year. It was one whole year of wrestling in front of no crowds.
Yeah, so it was a counting the kickoff show because we did those back then. 7 matches. He had,
what else were we going to do, Jim?
well,
Everything else was shut down.
I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah, you had Seth Rollins versus Mysterio in the Eye for an Eye. You had the Extreme Rules match was Drew McIntyre defeating Dolph Ziggler. The Extreme Rules stipulation only applied to Ziggler. McIntyre had to wrestle under regular singles rules, and had he gotten disqualified, he would have lost the belt. And then we had the Wyatt Swamp fight. Yes, Tim.
Is this also the same card that Miz got hurt in the Zombie Lumberjack match?
No, that was in the Thunderdome.
That was going to be my contribution to the conversation.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal it, but God, I just thought that they might have contained all the horse shit in one card. But no, they couldn't help themselves.
That was 2021's WrestleMania Backlash.
She raked my back.
What was?
Yeah, no, he didn't literally rake it.
It was promotional for Army of the Dead.
Yes.
And it was Damian Priest in the Zombie Lumberjack match. 7 minutes long that match was.
And the Miz got hurt.
And the Miz,
first time in his entire career.
The Miz suffered his first and only injury ever in WWE because of the fucking zombie bullshit. God damn, that was horrible. So Matt, that was your.
Don't sit here and act like you're upset for the Miz. He got nursed back to health by Maurice.
I mean,
he still won.
And how?
He ain't lying.
Yeah, I mean, he always wins, even in a loss. The man wins. He has never once taken an L.
That was one of the things I was going to touch on. I was also going to mention the Fiend being burned alive is probably worse in terms of things that happened during the pandemic era. Just because Fiend. It was the end of what could have been a great character, and we just saw him get fed to Randy Orton and then set on fire, and we were all supposed to just be like, "Oh yeah."
I mean, was it the setting on fire, or was it the
burn marshmallow return?
Right, because I mean, I don't know how you come back from that. I truly don't.
You burn a marshmallow, then you put it on some chocolate, and then you put it with some graham crackers.
I'm gonna eat, goddammit.
You lean forward to fart?
Maybe.
I leaned in because you said chocolate.
I don't know how you come back from that, but I feel like it wasn't the burning alive part that was the worst part. It was the aftermath. And again, I don't know how you get out of that, but
I mean, just all of it in general is just tough because, like you said, you can't come back, and they tried to do that.
That's right, Tim. Hands on 10 and 2, bud.
With Kane, where the Undertaker had burned him, and that's why he wore the mask.
Well, somebody was a smart ass.
All right, maybe like 4 and 8, Tim. 4 and 8. I think you'll be all right at 4 and 8. Yeah.
And then we get that. Oh well, then no, we meant emotionally burned.
Yeah, so you couldn't do that again because Mayor Glenn stole that gimmick. But yeah, I liked that they used the realm of the fact that nobody is seeing it live, so you can do things you're never ever going to be able to get away with ever again. Like they used the space as they could and created things differently. But yeah, maybe they shouldn't have burned him alive. Maybe in hindsight, probably should have stopped at literally lighting him on fire.
Of all the ways to end that character storyline, I think setting them on fire was probably one of the worst options they could have come up with.
The whole thing sucks.
Ryan, did you have any?
I think visually they did some stunning stuff. We saw the WWE lean into movie making a little bit more because they can, and there's no crowd, and they can get away with it. But then they do silly shit like the Backyard Bayou match and then lighting folks on fire. And
The Lumber Zombies.
The Lumber Zombies, and I think there was like a tag team match that was like backstage at a Raw where like a giant squid or something was in like a dumpster. You guys remember that? It had like
yes,
Street
it was the
Profits in
Street
it.
Profit and the
Maybe the
Ninjas.
Vikings
Oh
and the
yeah,
Ninjas.
that's right.
And like there was like a
Stupid
large.
ninjas.
It was like a
Like a
falls
large-
count anywhere.
Tentacle came out of like the dumpster or something, and like what was Tim? Yes.
Remember when Omos was a ninja?
Yeah. That was
Yep.
a thing.
Yep, sure
That
do.
was a thing.
Sure do. Yeah, that was
God,
tough.
the pandemic sucked.
But then we also got like Undertaker's Last Ride, which I thought was a picture perfect way to end the Undertaker's career.
In the Boneyard match, or no, the documentary.
I'm sorry, the Boneyard match,
Okay.
not the Last Ride, the Boneyard match. My apologies.
We got the Firefly Funhouse during the pandemic too.
We did.
We did.
Yeah,
We
that
did,
was,
yeah.
you know, and that was, I mean, that was at the beginning because that was WrestleMania of 2020. So like,
I feel like if you balance it out, it's probably really close.
It's
Decent
not.
shit to shitty shit.
No. There was a karaoke thing with Lacey Evans at one point, wasn't there? Wasn't that?
I can't be edited on this show.
I mean, come on. I honest to God don't remember that. I remember
Rick was trying to knock her up.
Ric Flair was booting her. But yeah, like it wasn't great. But we didn't know it wasn't great because it was all we had. It was literally all we had for like the longest time.
They threw somebody off of Titan Towers, didn't they?
A future Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio, I think, got chucked off the side. Future
We
Hall
also
of
got
Fame.
we got the pie soundbite that we use.
That is true. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Look, I don't care what anybody says. I loved the WWE corporate Money in the Bank match. I really did. Like, I mean, when else are you really going to like see inside that building? We're not, especially now. Isn't it closed? Didn't they move to the new? Or,
I don't know.
I think they are this year.
they're in the process. We need to make a road trip. We just need to go kick the door in or something. I don't know.
It's a couple levels
Yeah,
north. Isn't it?
yeah. All right, yeah. We got to do that.
It's right down past the airport.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
past.
It's right past the host.
Yeah, it's right there next to Philly too. It's right there.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Also,
traffic was great during the pandemic. Bring that back. I don't even drive for work anymore, but bring back no traffic. And if I wanted to get takeout, pulling right up in front of the fucking restaurant because no one else is there, give me that.
I miss the grocery shopping more. I would go at like 7 a.m. and it was like the store was open just for me.
Ghost Town. I miss waking up at any time I wanted to and playing video games a lot. Like that was all right with me. It's here. A couple of the comments. Devin has favorite will be the Firefly Funhouse. Least favorite Zombie Lumberjack match. Mike has his best was Stadium Stampede and Mox and Brody from AEW. Let's see here. We got was this one Braun flipping everyone on wheels. That was that was before. I think that was actually before. Mike says worst was watching the Book of the Year allow Matt Hardy finish a match after his head went splat. Yep, that happened. That happened during the pandemic. I think we have a worse Gronk falling off the balcony. Oh, that's right. Rob Gronkowski, 24/7 champion at WrestleMania. Forgot about that one. Devin misses the no traffic as well, Ryan. So he's there with you on that one. Yeah, there was definitely a lot of bad. Definitely quite a bit.
Good though.
There was good. There was good.
Like the rise of Otis.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we get any rise of Otis in a non-pandemic world.
No,
could have done without that. Sure, yeah.
Matt's like, so we're still talking about bad, is what you're saying? No, look, we wouldn't have gotten Otis with the maximum male models at this point if it wasn't for the pandemic.
And I don't know how I feel about Otis. I love Alpha Academy, but damn it, they're letting him do goofy shit again.
Yeah.
That's a surefire way for me to cheer for my size Barbie.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Just bring up
Oh yes, Tucky, we have our top suspect.
I'll credit Mike on take 3 with this one. Bring up the Creed brothers and have them be the new students of the Alpha Academy, and OTs can just go keep being OTs. It's a win-win for everybody.
Or what if people graduate from Chase U and then go to Alpha Academy for their post-grad?
Oh,
thinking way too hard for that.
I like that. Let's see here. Claire says Asuka on commentary was great during the pandemic.
Yes.
The first episode of SmackDown, when it was Triple H and Michael Cole on commentary, was great. Triple H just ripping on Michael Cole for 2 hours on a Friday night was great. Rob says being able to hear the trash talk between the wrestlers was great. Yeah, I mean, it definitely presented a much different on-screen product than we've ever had before, because you don't have crowd noise until it was piped in. So I mean, I always kind of joke about it, but I had given my brother my login for it was still the WWE Network when the pandemic started, right? Peacock wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah.
So I gave him my network login, and he said that his girlfriend questioned what he was watching when it was the Charlotte Rhea match during WrestleMania, because there was some sounds that you typically don't hear coming from the living room TV.
Some bumps and groans, huh?
Yeah. So it definitely presented a different on-screen product. But here, Charlie, as we've been talking about one that's more on the good side, and we've already mentioned it, the Boneyard match. I mean, some of these cinematic matches that we got that we never would have gotten, and I mean, really, what turned out to be the Undertaker's last match. I have a hard time believing that an in-ring match, even with Little Spoon himself, AJ Styles, would have been better than what we got in the Boneyard.
I agree with that.
I mean, Taker, I think we'd seen the decline over the last couple of years, and it just wasn't the in-ring product was certainly not the same, and we got something special. The Firefly Funhouse was neat. Stadium Stampede. I can't even remember all of the different ones. Wasn't there one in NXT? Wasn't it Cameron Grimes and Dexter Loomis?
There was a backyard brawl.
Yeah.
In NXT, I think, with Adam Cole and
that's
Redacted.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah.
Which Redacted? Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've tried to. We tried.
It worked well. Who else?
It was all a dream.
Did we get Pat McAfee during the pandemic?
Yeah, I think that was his first match. Was
the War Games?
Was inside.
He said it.
Was inside the. It was in the pandemic.
War Games.
To call back to
because I'm driving.
To call back to an earlier conversation about Brittany Blake, she was the third Legacy Wrestling Women's Champion, behind the inaugural champion Kimber Lee.
Okay.
And number 2 was Veda Scott. She won it from Veda Scott.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Boy. Oh, the turntables.
2,190 days as champion. Congratulations, Brittany Blake.
And still, right?
Vacated it.
And still.
Never vacated.
We'll have to mention that to her on Saturday. See if she brings it with her.
We will.
You guys want me to return this to Adam?
I think aren't the Damian Priest and Matt Riddle and still the KPW Tag Team Champions technically?
Probably.
Oh, boy, I don't think KPW ever even had a cage match site.
No, I highly doubt it. I would be shocked if they did.
I mean, the tag titles were the same as the heavyweight title for KPW, right?
There we go. They just had 2 of them.
Yeah. Thanks, perfect owner. Mike says he wishes that Taker would have gotten the goodbye with the fans at Survivor Series. Yeah, well, I think that's why he got the his.
Oh, that was so bad too.
I think that's why he got to do his hour-long testimony at the Hall of Fame last year. That was
Tesla cables.
That was
Tesla things.
That was Taker's. That was the give back to Taker.
Streets of Gold crew.
But yeah, I mean, both companies, and I credit AEW because when WWE first started, they still did the normal hard cam, so all you saw was empty chairs at ringside, and then AEW, because they were set up at Daly's place, their camera shot was towards the stage, and somebody at WWE must have been watching and went, "Hey, that's actually a good idea," so people kind of forget that it's an empty building. So WWE actually changed it up until they started having wrestlers as the fans, and then
was reactionary to AEW.
Yeah,
because AEW was doing wrestlers as fans more believably.
That's
than
right.
WWE did.
I forgot they actually had the wrestlers at ringside. I forgot about that.
Yeah, like during the pandemic, I think a lot of people look at AEW now and they're like, Tony Khan, his booking's a little weird, and maybe it's a lot of lather, rinse, repeat with some of his stuff. But when the pandemic was happening, Tony Khan was the biggest outside of the box thinker. And granted, he had in his back pocket literally the best venue possible.
Yeah.
An amphitheater outside of the stadium that his family owns, that they could just set up shop and do infinite televisions.
Yeah.
Free of charge, pretty much. But he really pushed the envelope. I mean, during that time, during the pandemic, you had the debut of Brody Lee, and unfortunately the passing of Brody Lee as well. But
Broken
there was
Matt
some
Hardy.
really cool stuff. You had Matt Hardy. You had that really sick parking lot brawl with the Lucha Brothers and the Best Friends.
Oh yeah.
During the pandemic, you had FTR coming into the building on a hot rod. There were some really cool things that AEW did.
Was that when Sting
debuted
during the pandemic? At Daly's
Winter
place?
is Coming?
Yeah.
That was the first Winter is Coming at Daly's place?
Yeah, I think it was.
I think they might have had limited
Yeah,
fans.
I think that was after some limited
Also,
fans had
too,
started to come back.
That's another thing too, is that AEW was the first promotion to really bring fans back.
Yeah.
In a very limited sense, and spreading them out, and
being outdoors helped that for sure.
Right. Again, the ideal situation. They were in the right place at the right time during the worst time. They were worst timeline ever. But Tony Khan and AEW made the most of a horrible situation, and it really leveraged them to be successful once fans were back in attendance. And then immediately once the turnaround time for that, it's only a few months after their full strength going around to arenas that we get the first what was the first dance?
Yeah.
But it's crazy what the timeline was, but big kudos to Tony Khan for making the most of garbage time, and really that was the era that he was stomping out NXT.
Mm-hmm.
That was the era that WWE was looking to try to it made the WWE get creative and build the Thunderdome.
Yeah, and look, going back, and because when I did it with the Royal Rumble, and I'm going to come up on him here soon as I'm watching through WrestleMania, is why I have WrestleManias on while I'm working. The Thunderdome stuff now is very visually jarring because we're used to wrestling being as wrestling's supposed to be. But really, the Thunderdome, when WWE came out with it, I thought it was great. It was definitely, in my opinion, a step up from the Performance Center. And like I did the Thunderdome like virtual fan thing a couple of times, and it was cool. It was cool to like, I mean, you're still just watching the show as it is presented, but like you're sitting there kind of trying to like find yourself on the screen and stuff like that. So it was neat. It was a cool thing to do a couple of times. And yeah, like it made the WWE get creative there. Hindsight, it's weird to look at. Those shows are strange and a lot of them forgettable, but both companies did what they had to do in their own way, and yeah, it's certainly an era I hope we never have to go back to ever again. But both companies did their best. Obviously other companies as well, indie companies even did empty arena studio shows. You can go to the PWE Pro Wrestling Empire YouTube channel and hear some familiar voices on those Battleground studio shows. Just a wild look back. Hopefully, like I said, we never have to do it again. But anything else, guys, before we move on? Yes, Ryan.
Here's a call back to an earlier moment. We were speaking about Keystone Pro Wrestling. They do have a cage match. It was LCW to Keystone. Jim, you are correct. Ultimate Punishment was the last active tag team champion for the promotion. However, the entire promotion was dubbed inactive in 2016. Damn. Can you tell me who the last heavyweight champion was? KPW.
Was it Von Schmidt?
That's incorrect.
Louis G. Rich.
It was Louis G. Rich. Thank you, Tim, for remembering, or Matthew for remembering that.
And they had done away with. Did they do away with the Vixen's title or the women's title?
The Vixen's title was retired when the company died as well. Mandy Leone was the carrier of that. Guess. She won it from Jordan Grace.
And good. What was the other one when Jason still had it?
That's not even listed here. Although it does list
the Bad Apple Armor Championship.
Yeah, the Bad Apple Armor. Shit, what the hell was the total? Was the full title of that?
I don't even.
A guy named Mel, I think, used to run that company.
Yeah.
Bad Apple Armor sounds right.
Yeah, I don't remember the actual
Apple
full
Armor
name.
Champion. Although it does list a Intercontinental Championship that was
interesting.
Won by Clutch Adams. I don't remember that at all.
Don't even remember that.
Clutch Adams.
Mandy Leone will be at Icons of Wrestling too. Maybe her and Brittany Blake can put the legacy versus the.
There we go. Unify the titles.
Unify, and we'll hang them behind one of us at a podcast.
There we go. All right. Last thing before we close out. Obviously we are getting closer to
KPW's last. No fucking way. Their last show was called Broken Promises.
Oh man, if I had an ironic button, like that would just be the most
ironic.
Wow, that's about right.
That's a stacked fucking card though, man.
I believe. What was the card on that show? Do you have
this was the Broken Promises Vixens version, the earlier show. It was Deonna Purrazzo defeating Cherry Bomb.
Okay.
Jordan Grace.
Both televised. Like, count the number of people on TV.
Go ahead. You guys count it for me.
That's two.
Jordan Grace versus Solo Darling.
3.
Mandy Leone versus Miranda Vianette. Vanity versus Willow Nightingale.
4.
Brittany Blake defeating Sammy Pandora. Ray Lynn defeats Maria Manic. And Jade defeated Sumi Sakai.
Okay.
Both of which Jade's been in Impact WWE.
Yeah.
Michin, and Sumi Sakai
Oh, yeah,
in Ring of
okay.
Honor.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
Jade.
Okay.
And Sumi Sakai was in Ring of Honor. The main event, Sean Carr defeated Facade, two of my favorites locally.
Okay, great guys.
The Hawaiian Warrior Keikoa defeated Brute Van Slyke, big guy from up in New York. Shane Strickland defeated Pepper Parks, both of which in AEW. Can I say David Starr?
Well, I mean,
Sure.
it's
He
factual.
happened.
He was on the
Defeated,
card.
TK O'Ryan, who was in Ring of Honor.
Okay.
He was part of the I forget what he was in.
The Kingdom.
The Kingdom. Yes, I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
Yeah. Hiromu Takahashi, then known as Kamatachi, defeated Vinny Marcellia.
Wait. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Hiromu Takahashi was it KPW?
Yeah. Wrestled as Kamatachi. He wrestled Vinny Marcellia.
Vinny Marcellia was in
Ring of Honor.
In Ring of Honor.
Well.
Yeah.
As
He was
part
of
the Kingdom. Right.
The main event of the women's matches happened on this card. It was Gail Kim defeated Mandy Leone.
Okay, Gail Kim.
And then it closed with 3 cage matches. I don't believe any of these were televised professional wrestlers. Grey Wolf defeated the Rockin' Rebel. Louis G. Rich defeated Joseph Von Schmidt.
Okay.
And Rob Noxious defeated the Red Scorpion in what was maybe
He raked my back. Yeah, no, he didn't literally rake it.
the hottest feud in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
You're not kidding. And it still goes to this day, oddly enough.
To this day.
We literally just saw a casket match that didn't end the feud, I'm sure, just a few months ago. So
unbelievable talent on that show. It really, really was wild.
6 years later, Mike confirms they're part of the Kingdom, and Devin says it was a headache of a night. Yeah, they all were, Devin. They all were, if we're being honest about it. But yeah, 16 days from today is night 1 of WrestleMania, so now we know night 2, 17 days away. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns will battle for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And it just, like, because there's been a lot of discussion, Cody's promos the last couple weeks have been real strong. And Roman obviously is approaching 1,000 days as champion. That will not happen before WrestleMania. So the question here is, what needs to happen more? Is it Cody Rhodes winning the championship at WrestleMania, or is it Roman Reigns hitting 1,000 days as champion? Feel free to chime in. Whoever wants to jump on it first.
What needs to happen is we need to separate these championships. We need Cody Rhodes to say, "Daddy never won this one." Bring that back. Defeat Roman Reigns for that. Let Roman Reigns stay Universal Champion. Everybody wins.
Okay. I mean, that would be the most ideal, like if we're being 100% honest about it. But it's certainly
the cup half full or the cup half empty. It doesn't matter. You own the cup. You own the fucking juice.
Right.
Stop filling it when you want to stop filling it.
Yeah. No, I agree. Matt or Tim?
So the question is, what needs to happen?
What needs to happen more? Cody winning the championship at WrestleMania, or Roman reaching 1,000 days as champion?
I mean, I guess I'll give the dissenting opinion before anyone else. I think what needs to happen more would be Cody winning.
Okay.
Just because then you can reinvigorate that storyline and kind of tear off with what you're doing with the bloodline. There's a lot of directions you can go with that, more so than getting to 1,000 days, in my opinion.
All right, Tim?
So I'm torn because it's what I want versus what I want. I've never been in this situation where it's like, either way, I get what I want at WrestleMania. Either my guy finally wins the belt, or my guy goes on to continue his unprecedented reign as champion. I wholeheartedly disagree with Ryan in the need to split the titles. I don't.
Okay.
If anything, you get rid of 2 titles and just make it 1 title. Because what they've done with the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title has been fantastic. And I think you lose that if you go and put 1 title on Raw and 1 title on SmackDown. Because then you're by doing that, whatever title you put on SmackDown becomes the lesser than title.
Okay.
And so, to me...
You mean the blue one that's already behind the black one in this graphic that's already lesser than the WWE Championship? Gotcha.
Correct. Right. I mean, Roman Reigns wears the WWE title and Paul Heyman carries the Universal title. Even though the Universal title is the one he's had the longest, and now they're just lumping the title reign over into the other title, which I'm fine with. I think if Cody loses at Mania, it's okay. I think that if Roman wins and goes to his 1,000 days, it opens up the door to allow for the Bloodline storyline to finish with the title.
Right.
Whether that's with Jay or that's solo or something like that. Cody has now kind of removed himself from the Bloodline aspect of it, and it's very much just him and Roman. But it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other for me. It's like a 51-49 split. But I would rather see, as a fan, the 1,000-day reign of Roman as opposed to Cody finishing the story. Because if he doesn't finish it at WrestleMania, then guess what? He just finishes it at SummerSlam, or he finishes it whenever he finishes it.
I mean, WrestleMania Backlash is in Puerto Rico. Then you have...
is it officially WrestleMania Backlash?
Or maybe it is just Backlash. Let me look.
I've heard differing reports.
But let's see here. It is just Backlash. WWE Backlash is in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So did they drop the WrestleMania from it? Which I know.
Here's a good question. Okay, what is Roman's current day rate at right now? It's like 920, 930 something.
I'm gonna pull that up right now. So you had 900 days on February 16th.
So it's been 30 days since then.
He's 28. So he's at 928 now.
928. So then 1,000 days is 72 more days.
Yeah.
So
you know
he would have to.
Do you know what happens in 72 days?
It's
Shane McMahon's
birthday.
The best in the world.
Dang, I didn't actually see that coming, Ryan. I did not.
Shane McMahon.
But actually, what is 72
that was a shorter
days?
One.
It was. I did. I hit the shorter one.
Him driving.
Yeah, I didn't. But what does happen?
Trapped in a rolling cage of emotion.
What actually does happen 72 days from now is WWE Kings and Queens of the Ring from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Mustafa
Is it actually 72 days?
Yeah, May 27th is 72 days from today, and that's when King and Queens is, right?
With Kevin James?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the host of Kings and Queens of the Ring.
I'd be all right.
Leo Ramini will talk about how she escaped the clutches of Scientology.
Yeah, King and Queen of the Ring, which I feel like you could have
End of May.
named that better, but it's from May 27th. It's the same.
What would you have named it, Jim?
I don't know. The royalty. I don't know. It just has such a.
I mean, you said you could come up with a better name. I'll hear it.
Well, you know what?
If you're gonna question WWE, you got to be ready for this.
You're right. I shouldn't have questioned them. I shouldn't have questioned them. King and Queen of the Ring is a perfect name, but it happens the same day. If we Steiner mathed correctly, it would be on the same day. So you could have Roman lose it there, and it would be on his thousandth day.
And then you've got Money in the Bank at the O2.
The O2, SummerSlam, and then the next one would be SummerSlam in
Vegas, or no?
No, Detroit.
There's no way if Roman retains at Mania, he loses it at Sands of Time.
No, because they're not doing Sands of Time.
They're doing King and Queen of the Ring.
Okay, whatever. The river runs red with blood is not going to happen for Roman Reigns.
It's the King of the Ring tournament, not the Red Wedding.
There we go. Royalty of the Rings. That's that. I think that sounds a little.
I don't like it.
Road to the Throne.
There we go.
Better.
There we go. Oh, see, they should hire us. Here's what I think on this, and I see Mike has a comment there, Devin as well. But I kind of agree with what Tim's saying, and even is Cody. You have more opportunities. Like this is your only shot for a 1,000 day reign, because I don't. Not that obviously you couldn't do it again with somebody else after the fact, but this feels like such a unexpected long title reign, because a good portion of it still happened when most of the shows were in the pandemic era. So like you didn't have to worry about live crowds and all of that for a championship reign that was too long or whatever. So like I feel like this is kind of like your last big chance at it. If you're going to do it. But I honestly think, and not that neither one can recover or whatever Roman does after this. Like I don't think Roman's ever going to be a full-time every week TV wrestler anymore. Once this is all said and done. But I think it hurts Cody more to not win. So I think what needs to happen more actually is Cody win. Because like I don't know that we look at this storyline and all the aspects of it and the ways you can still take it after the fact, because like it's not even at this point, like I don't know to where we are that the titles are as important as the relationship within the family. So I think there's still avenues you can take with the storyline after the fact. But I think Cody winning the title at WrestleMania after his return last year and the injury and the journey back, like to me that's it. Like that's the moment. Like when you end WrestleMania in Hollywood, I think that's your closing shot.
So two things. One, so you mean to tell me that Cody Rhodes losing his undefeated streak since coming back to WWE is going to be like hard to come back from, losing to the guy who's smashed and stacked and pinned everyone for 2.5 years?
I mean, I don't think it's unrecoverable, but I think that like this has been the journey. Like this has been, once he got hurt, this was the target. Like
the target was this, whether Cody got hurt or not. I mean, the night after WrestleMania when he debuts, he says, "I'm going for the title my father never had." So like he called his shot even before he got hurt.
Right.
But for you to say that like the bloodline is more about the family than it is the titles, just a few weeks ago on television, Paul Heyman explicitly said without the titles, there's no bloodline and there's no Roman Reigns.
But is that Heyman the businessman? Being Heyman the businessman.
I firmly believe that if the minute Roman Reigns loses the titles, he is gone for a year, baby. And you ain't seeing him.
But you don't know that being a dumb fan. I mean, you kayfabe this. Like, we're talking from like a perspective of kayfabe here.
Even then, Roman, even as a fan and being dumb, Roman barely shows up as champion anyways.
That I agree with.
Which is why you have pushed, why you stated you want the title split. Because
That's not why I stated that.
Well, one person's held both titles and neither of them are on television.
Don't give a shit about that. Makes it more important, actually. That's not at all why I would split the titles.
Okay. Fair enough. My apologies.
No, that's fine. No, that's totally fine.
I think the reason you said split is then Cody can have the title and Roman can still reach 1,000 days.
And hit a thousand's a very important number. I don't think we're ever going to get that again. I don't think we get a story. It's like a once in a generational story that allows us to get this crazy 1,000-day streak. And can go through Cesaro's on SmackDown and put on bangers of matches, and then to heat a fucking fire under somebody like Sami Zayn, the hottest we've ever seen Sami Zayn ever be, because of a storyline with the bloodline. Jim, I think I agree with you. The stories are much more important than the belts. But without that belt, Roman Reigns doesn't sit atop of the table, and he's not the provider for the family. You can't be the provider if you're just some schmuck.
Let me ask you this.
It sounds
Ryan.
you go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Does it cheapen Cody's win for you if Cody only takes one title off of Roman?
I don't think Cody has any interest in the Universal Championship. What's Cody's interest in that? He said, "I'm coming back for the belt. Daddy never won." So absolutely,
I agree with Ryan on that one. I'm all. I would have been all in on splitting the belts.
He's changed it, but
he has now. I mean, he had
the title Daddy couldn't win because it didn't exist until 2015.
Well, I mean, now he's saying that, he's going to be the first Rhodes that's ever been the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, because that's the match, because WWF isn't WWE isn't splitting the titles. But if they would have split the titles, then he would have been like, I'm going to be the first Rhodes ever to be the WWE champion. And it would have been that easy.
Right.
Let's see. I want to loop around here. Mike says, Devin says it's more important for Cody to win. Mike says 1,000 days is a round number, but I don't think any person is super believable to beat Roman more than Cody. He says if not Cody, then who beats Roman?
Jay.
Man, people were on the hook for Sami Zayn a month ago. You build somebody right. Jay absolutely could be that guy.
Jay's to me, if it's not Cody, and I think it should be, it's Jay, because that is where the bloodline story began. Like that's I mean, really, after Roman's return, and he went for the title and he got the title, and then like Jay wouldn't acknowledge Roman, and that's what started this whole thing.
You hit 1,000. I don't think it matters how he loses it. You can have him and I don't know, have the Rock thing happen at SummerSlam, and then have somebody cash in and steal the championships that way. It's cheap, but you can do it that way. You'll have the briefcases back in play.
Right.
It doesn't have to be anybody super believable. I mean, Sami Zayn's not believable. Look at Sami, look at Roman. That's not a believable fight. But God damn it, if everybody didn't believe
it was a fucking blast.
Close 2 counts.
Yeah. I don't think anybody takes it to a near fall like Roman Reigns. It's like there is definitely
WWE makes you believe, you'll believe.
That's for sure.
Kevin, I heard if Cody wins, you're going to get a tattoo on your. Is that true?
on the.
Who, me?
No, Devin.
Devin says if the Usos lose their title, there's a better chance.
On its neck.
There's a better chance Roman might win if the Usos lose their title. I mean that's going to be an interesting tell. And I think that match happens night 1, and then I think there's going to be a lot of questions going into night 2. Mike says Jey Uso, the Jey Uso that beat Roman multiple times, including forcing him to join the Bloodline. And then he says Cody Rhodes wins. Theory wins Money in the Bank. Theory cashes in and wins the Universal title. Ew. All right, and it's more important
I'm
that
podcast here, Trump. Shit.
Based on what Mike just said, I'd like to change my answer. It's more important for Roman to reach 1,000 days.
That's fair.
But yeah, I mean, we're obviously not. It's not next Thursday. Next Thursday's not the no, 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, we're obviously going to be predicting. Tim, do we want to give the announcement on what we're doing in 2 weeks?
I'll give a nice little tease right
Yeah, let's
here.
give a little tease for what's going down here in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, pull it out and put it away real quick.
Exactly. So, everybody knows it's sign pointing season. It's WrestleMania time. So, for the go home show to WrestleMania, 3CT is going back on their old shit for one night. A WrestleMania-sized 2-hour episode on Thursday.
It's big. It's enormous.
On a 2-hour episode leading into WrestleMania, where we're going to cover in-depth night 1 and night 2. And we're doing a very special 3CT draft. WrestleMania themed, but surely one you do not want to miss, even though Mark is totally going to miss it because he's a little Billy Bitch Cakes. But you guys shouldn't. So appointment television, appointment listening, 3CT, 2 Thursdays from now, the Thursday before WrestleMania SmackDown in the Hall of Fame, here on Facebook, on YouTube. Follow us on socials. We'll tell you more as it comes up. But a jam-packed WrestleMania-sized 2-hour episode of 3CT here for you. And surely one where we're going to be at the top of our game.
For sure. At least for most parts of it. But not Ryan. Most of us will. Mark's going to be so good, it's like you won't even hear him. But yeah, that's...
He's not going to be on that show with us?
No, he's going to some PA Music Hall of Fame bullshit.
Oh, that's right. Well, they're inducting the Claire Brothers. It makes sense.
3CT Uncensored. Maybe we'll get that on the air. No.
3CT After Dark.
But that's going to wrap the live show for this week. Make sure you are subscribed to us on all podcast platforms and YouTube as well, so you do not miss the Tuesday podcast that comes out. It hits the podcast channel super early in the morning. So make sure you catch that over there, and never miss an episode of 3CT. Get our merchandise over at tpublic.com. Go to 3countthursday.com. All of our social medias, everything is there. Hit the link tree in our social media. You can find everything that way as well. Until Tuesday when you'll hear us on the podcast, or next Thursday when you see us again live, we hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy wrestling however you're doing it for the next week. And until then, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the pin.